Well, this is going to be an issue because nobody's going to believe me. Okay, let's do it. What's up? It's Trey from MBTI. Today I'm going to be telling you guys something pretty interesting. The video title should inform you what we're talking about, but a lot of you guys started on MBTI, and some of you when the channel was Chad Crandall, and then some of you were also on my Trey 4L channel, where I made videos about being an ENTJ. Well, I actually started that channel a long time ago, and I had only taken the 16personalities.com test and scored as ENTJ, and we all know how inaccurate the 16personalities.com test is. And then, you know, we've also got some other issues like I didn't understand that behavioral model was not the way to go. But I recently moved in with Damon, and we really started analyzing my type, and we decided, we're like, whoa, you're not extroverted, you are definitely introverted. And it's not because of my behavior, it's because that's what I prefer to do, is I prefer to be alone, I prefer to introvert. And I think that during my early childhood, I was forced to extrovert quite a bit. So I think that the issue was, in my early childhood, I was forced to extrovert quite a bit. So I appeared to be an extrovert. I also had a ESFJ mother, and I think what may have happened was she was, there was no way to go about things that I could possibly, like I couldn't, the point is, I know I'm having a hard time saying this, but I think the issue was, no matter what I said, it was rejected in some way. I couldn't say anything, because no matter how I said it or which way I went about it, it was pushed aside, and a lot of issues would be caused because of all that. So I ended up as a type 5, Enneagram 5, where, you know, I'm way up in my head because I can't say anything correct, and that's also a type 1 thing. But really, I prefer INFJ. And when I say that I prefer an INFJ, a lot of people say, what do you mean prefer? And it's weird because, you know, I tell people I prefer INFJ, and they get confused, like, what do you mean? Like in a relationship you prefer them? No. Prefer is the technical term. You aren't supposed to say I am ENTJ or I am INFJ, because you are identifying with an image. Thing is, INFJs don't actually act all the same way. They make totally different decisions. A lot of people are behavior based, and we'll look at somebody and say, that person is INFJ because they just did that. And I think that that's been one of the biggest conflicts when telling people I prefer INFJ, is that they actually tell me, oh no, you did this, you've done that, you're not INFJ. It's not about that. Why do I do that? The reasoning behind why I do that is really one of the biggest reasons why I would appear to be some other type. So I think what ended up happening was I started using a function like extroverted thinking to be able to communicate better and explain myself better, but never an actual, I'm not always spotting external logical inconsistencies. I don't spot those very well. I suck at that because it's not my primary function. It's not what I prefer to do. It's something that I've been forced to do. And so really, my hypothesis is that when I was growing up, I couldn't say the right thing. No matter how I tried to say it, it was like impossible. Actually, I remember when I got into psychology, one of the biggest things was I have to understand how to communicate with my mom better, because this is chaos. It was just killing me. And so some people won't believe that I prefer INFJ, and a lot of people will believe that I still prefer ENTJ, and you can believe what you want. But the thing is, I have done a lot of research. At first, I just believed I was introverted. Oh, I just prefer INTJ. But the thing is, I really started focusing on the judging functions, extroverted feeling and introverted thinking, and how they work separately, how they work together. And it makes so much sense. And I know exactly why I have been so straightforward, and my extroverted feeling is very badly developed. And I think it's because I kind of rejected it, because there was no way to, I stopped caring. It was almost like I want to attempt to make the situation better, but no matter how I tried, it was always going to end up bad. And so what I started to do was, I was just like, you know what, it doesn't matter, I just won't say anything. And if I do say something, it doesn't even saying nothing was wrong. I couldn't say nothing. Like if I was quiet, it'd be like, why are you quiet? And on me for being quiet. And I'm not, judging the way they parent or anything like that. I get it, makes sense, sort of, not really, kind of. I can see why it makes sense, and I can also see why it doesn't to me, because I'm biased. So yeah, I mean, it didn't matter. I could say anything and it wouldn't make a difference. And so I think that a lot of the way that I work and in the world and the way that I communicate has the same sort of, it doesn't matter. Now, some of it does, and that's just the thing, is that now I'm able to kind of make this transition, and I have been ever since I haven't had the pressure on me. And I think you can see it in a lot of my videos. I'm really extroverting quite a bit of feeling. I'm really concerned with saying the right words. I think a lot of times I'll stop and I'll be like, what's the right word? Or I'll make sure that people don't take what I said wrong. I am concerned with it, I'm just not very good at it. And so I think that there's a lot of development for me in the future, and I have to learn how to develop my extroverted feeling. I think that dealing with everything just kind of made me feel that I was ENTJ. I don't prefer ENTJ whatsoever. I would rather be INFJ. And when I say rather, it's not that I'm just like, oh, INFJ sounds good, so I'm just going to go over there and be INFJ. No, it's not about that. It's more about the fact that INFJ is what I prefer to do. It's introverted intuition, extroverted feeling, introverted thinking, extroverted sensing. But it makes the most sense to me. I even studied in Socionics and the way that they play a role, and I believe that in Socionics it's actually INFP, but because of the dominant introverted intuitive function being a perceiving function. If it looks like I'm not INFJ, to all of you, if you believe I don't prefer INFJ, it's probably just because I had a lot of crap to deal with, so it really steered me off. And I had to I had to use extroverted thinking. I had to be able to communicate in that way. And actually, there's a cognitive function book that actually talks about each of the cognitive functions and the different processes that they go through. And extroverted thinking, I believe it's extroverted thinking 5, is very good with communication and being able to communicate ideas effectively. And that is something that I've been able to do. I don't know if you've recognized it, but a lot of INFJs have a very hard time communicating their ideas. And that's just one thing that makes me a bit different than most INFJs. But man, I know it's crazy because it makes so much sense. I have been studying everything, and I'm not focused on the practicality or the usefulness of a tool or item. I'm more focused on the aesthetics and just dumb stuff. I mean, dumb stuff by a certain standard, of course, but yeah, it's been amazing actually, looking back and recognizing a lot of the issues that I have, and recognizing that I have an issue. And I think that's what MBTV is all about, is recognizing that we all have growth to endure. We all have places to go. We all have issues that we have to overcome. And a lot of times our circumstances are, surmounting against us. They're like this huge mountain that we have to get over. But, I think that huge mountain is, it can be utilized as a way of moving forward. All that power and energy moving forward instead of against us and above us. So for me, I think that recognizing that I, in fact, prefer INFJ is one of those steps towards not denying parts of me. That big mountain was parts of me that I had to get over, but really, there were parts of me that were parts of me. They were parts of me that I needed to utilize and move forward with. And I was denying extroverted feeling because of a lot of the issues that I had. So now moving forward, I'm going to be able to utilize that more and focus and try to be as effective as I can as a it stinks because I've focused 2 years on, developing myself, and I have gotten far in a sense. I think thinking that I'm an ENTJ or that I prefer ENTJ has really helped my confidence. And I think that's something that just I wouldn't take back for anything, is that my confidence is so much higher now. Of course, I've still got a long ways to go. So I actually took a MBTI step 2, which is MBTI stands for Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. So it indicated me as a INFJ. So I am in fact an INFJ, and I know that some people will think that just because I've switched my preferences, I'm not going to switch my preference anymore. I do prefer INFJ, and I've done a lot of research over the past month trying to determine that, to make sure that I preferred INFJ, and I definitely do. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Go ahead and comment below, tell me your thoughts. Of course, some of you are going to interject and not believe that I do prefer INFJ, but that's still kind of dumb, because people have tried to tell me I was ENFJ, people tried to tell me I was INTJ because they thought I was a NI dominant type, but they thought I was logical. They said, okay, INTJ. They said, all right, well, you're an ENFJ. Thing is, I'm a very logical INFJ. I do extrovert that feeling, but I'm highly conceptual, and I use an introverted thinking model of understanding as well. So people are gonna think that I'm some other type, and some people are gonna probably think I'm right. In the end, it's up to me, because you cannot know me well enough to tell me what type I am. Now, people have tried telling me I was a dominant NI type, and I did reject it. But I hadn't really done enough digging into my past and into who I am now, and into the way I've actually processed information since the beginning, and what I would prefer to process information as. And one thing I'd like to say, you guys think that I just easily bring out these ideas, but I really don't. I mean, honestly, it's just about, I have to articulate my words and explain things, and it takes a long time just to come up with a train of thought. It's really difficult for me because I get caught up over my own self, and I can't even explain it correctly. I have a very hard time. I mean, it's easier, I think, than a lot of other people who prefer INFJ, but it's still very difficult for me. So go ahead and tell me what you think down below. If you're happy for me, if you think I'm really dumb and I can't even recognize my own self. But in the end, it's up to me. That's the way it works. You can't understand me. You can't tell me what type I am. The indicator can't even tell me what type I am. It indicates my type based off of the information I present. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have an amazing day. See you next time. Ciao. Feeling that they have their own identities. This is something that's very important to the dominant extrovert feeling and type. So they want everyone in the group to have this general feeling. It's not just focused on their own self. While they're going to find these things within their own self, they might actually project some of the things they find within their inner world onto the outside world in their group. Now, I don't necessarily believe that this is going to happen in all scenarios. Actually, I believe that it wouldn't. But it's going to be